I think we're set. So this is West Parade. It's basically try and imagine a sort of a ridge, and along that ridge is a gap, and Lincoln is built around that gap because at the time it was built it was a good idea to have control of that gap so that you could control the flow in and out of the country on the other side of the ridge. And so the cathedral's on one side and there's a common on the other, and we are halfway up that ridge on the cathedral side. You can't see it from here, but the cathedral sort of up that bit, sort of up there. And we're going to do the town centre first. The name West Parade was terribly familiar to me when I was booking, and on a map I looked, but I didn't understand quite the significance. West Parade has on it a set of warden controlled flats which form part of what's known as St Faith's Court, and I should recognise that because my paternal grandmother lived there. That was her Lincoln residence. She moved up, I think, in the very early 90s, and she moved out as soon as my father began his commuting, 2 years commuting to Harrogate, and St Faith's is this bit along here, in fact. What's more bizarre is that her flat was directly off this road, so we'll see as we go past. It was this one here. So this was a route that I took to town quite often in the late 1990s. I would visit my gran, who would live just beyond where that green sort of thing is, and I would walk along here to head back to town. Now between the town, well, the High Street, and St Faith's Court is the Avenue, which is a rather large road, and you can see it here. We're coming up to where the traffic lights are, and I used to dread crossing this road. I don't think it must have had the crossing there, but I don't remember that. What I remember is waiting by the side of the road forever, and then running across and hoping that you weren't going to get squashed. I was quite young at the time. And I remember a guy on the other side once when we were trying to cross, and he was a little bit more daring than me, and he would like to run out, and he nearly got killed by this big lorry which was hurtling down the road there. He was on the far bank with me trying to cross this way, and he nearly got killed here by it. I mean, he stepped back and did this amazing sort of ruffled bow as the lorry went past. You know, This road is nowhere near as big as I remember it. I remember it as a huge road. And I could have sworn this crossing wasn't here. I think the traffic lights were, but I'm not at all sure that this crossing was. Because if you actually look there, no traffic light there. So I think that the crossing has been added later. That's my story and I'm sticking to it. Welcome to the West Common. This West Common is actually right at the end of the road that I have my hotel on. It's not the part of the West Common, no. It goes all the way up. Oh. All the way up sort of the hill there. But it also goes all the way down there. And I know the bit sort of at the bottom here, and I'm not going to walk all the way down there. You can see that there are lots of horses over in the corner. Now, when I was very little, probably in the late 80s I would have thought, my father used to work. There's a road that runs at the bottom of the common there. And he used to work basically in a building on the other side. There's a big sort of grandstand, which is actually sort of in the middle of nowhere. I mean, it's not, the sort of grandstand you'd have at a race course, except there's no race course. So why it was built, I don't know, but it's sort of like a landmark. Very noisy crow, I think it is. Or a rook or something like that, and he's making quite a lot of noise. Anyway, one day, me, my two sisters, and my mother came, and I don't know whether we sort of met my father or not, I can't remember, but I assume that's why we chose the West Common to have a picnic on. And so we had our picnic, we got out all our boxes and stuff like that, and we were interrupted by cows. Now, there doesn't seem to be any cows on this common anymore. There may not have been for, years. They look like they're all horses to me. But there were cows on this common, and they were fascinated by our food, and fascinated by my sister's hair, because she had long, very curly hair. And basically they came over, we were sort of sat down, and they came over, and the result was we had to pack up and leave pronto, and sort of flee the West Common here. And I think we ended up having our rest of our picnic in the car. So I think I'm going to turn back now. But this is the West Common, and that's really the only memory that this place holds for me. And like I say, I only have a recollection of visiting it once, and that was for the fateful picnic. Now the South Common, which we'll visit later today, that's very different. I have lots of memories of being on the South Common, and to the best of my knowledge, these are the only two commons in Lincoln, the West and the South.